So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So what we have here today is the 2022 Subaru Forester 2-liter Eyesight S model. It's a long name. We had an IL model and a GT model. The GT was kind of like a first edition. So this is the only variant left here in our market. So I'd like to thank again Subaru Pasig and Sir Glenn Hadap for allowing me to review the all-new Subaru Forester. And as well, I reviewed the Subaru XV here. Link of that will be in the description down below. So let's start with the looks. So this is probably one of the most divisive designs for a Subaru ever. Apart from the WRX, I'll give my thoughts on that soon. But for this Forester, just being honest to the point, I prefer the look of the 2003 Subaru Forester of my cousins. I have a review of that as well. The XT is probably my favorite looking Forester, and the previous one to this as well. The looks of this, I'm being honest, not a big fan of, but I gotta say for the design, it is striking to look at. So here in the front, you have a massive grille now here, and like all Subarus, it has the Eyesight safety suite. You have a front camera here, and then you have the eyes there right in front of the windscreen, and then ground clearance is 220 millimeters, exactly the same as the Subaru XV. And then you have LED lights here all around as well for your fog lamps, and there are 3 chrome strips here. And then the grille here, there's black here, and then there's like gunmetal gray here with chrome inserts, and then surrounding it is gloss black. There's camera here in your side mirrors. The side profile, there's not much cladding here. It's alright. For the design of this new Forester, I am a big fan of these wheels. So here now at the rear of the Subaru Forester, you have LED brake lights all around, by the way, and I can't unsee this now. The C shape of it doesn't look like a crab carrying someone. Anyways, more cladding here, and you have body colored skid plate again here like the Subaru XV. And you have a real exhaust pipe here. And then you have a reverse camera here. And then you have nice bumps here on the spoiler. There's not much bumps compared to the Subaru XV though. And then open the boot up. You have an electronic tailgate, by the way. It's quite noisy though, but at least there is. Boot space here, you have a total of 505 liters. And then there's a lot of toys here. And surprisingly, as you can see, there's not much of a load dip. It's completely flat. So underneath, you have under storage, and you have a donut type tire underneath. And then you have a nice tonneau cover here. This one feels premium, and probably the only one in its class. You have 3-kilogram roof hooks right here. They feel really, really sturdy. And then on the right side over here, you have 2 grocery hooks here. 4 tethering points on each corner. Same layout here. And an additional 12-volt socket. And what's cool, you can fold the rear seats manually or with the pull of a button. So total space now of the Subaru Forester with all the seats down is 1,700 liters. Probably also one of the most spacious in its class. Also, this competes with a Mazda CX-5 and a Toyota RAV4. Let's see how this compares since I've driven the RAV4 hybrid and a CX-5 all-wheel drive. So let's see how this stacks up since this is not the most powerful one in its class. As well, this has the same engine as the Subaru XV, but I'll get to that later. So that's about here in the boot and the exterior of the all-new Subaru Forester. I'll show you what's inside. This tailgate's so noisy. This is the interior of the all-new Subaru Forester. Ooh, that sounds way better than the XV. The door stud sounds on par with the competition like the RAV4 and the CX-5 as I mentioned. So like I said in the Subaru XV, the layout here in the center is exactly the same. You have your 8-inch infotainment touchscreen, and then below that you have your climate control buttons and knobs, and further down below you have 1 USB port, 1 12-volt socket, and a place for your phone. And my phone just fits, and this is where things just get a little bit different. One more thing that's similar, the plastic paddle shifters, they're very clicky, sound nice as well. And then here in the back in the center, unlike the Subaru XV which has orange stitching, this one's white or silver. So most likely the Foresters get body colored stitching, and there's also nice leather on the center so you can lean your knee. I mean, it's hard, but at least it feels more premium than the usual. And speaking of premium, the cabin here feels way more premium. And also you have a bigger sunroof. This is also probably one of the biggest I've encountered in its class so far. And then same layout here with the gear leaf. There's a lot of gloss back, but this is where things get a little bit different. Below here, there's a little space here for your coins, and then you have electronic electronic parking brake, auto vehicle hold function, as Subaru say. And then your 360-degree view camera is right here on the right side. And then you have your drive modes. And then you have your X mode knob now, unlike the button of the Subaru XV. There's snow and dirt and snow mud. I mean, the mud's fine, but why do you need snow in mode here in this country? Anyway, at least there is. Here now in the door card, there's a lot of soft touch plastic here, and around the door handle and your memory seat buttons, it's no longer the fake carbon fiber trim of the XV, it's just plastic. And then you have a nice two-tone leather here on the door, and the window switches are similar to that of the XV. And then you have a cubby space and bottle holder on each side of the door. My water jug just about fits, so okay, it doesn't go all the way in, but it fits. And then you have the same layout here in the center console with the cup holders. There's a weird clip divider, but at least there is. It fits perfectly. There's also another tray behind it for placing a phone, but it's in an awkward position though. Then center console box also, well, it's the body colored stitching, it's leather again, it's decent enough. And there is a removable tray underneath, but you can fit a lot of stuff. There's also a 12-volt socket underneath. And then here in the steering wheel, same buttons here and there like the XV. One difference only, the Sport and Intelligent button, it's two separate buttons, unlike the single button of the Subaru XV. And then here on the left side of the dashboard, thank goodness there is no more blank button. It's a complete set now. Same layout with the analog speedometer, analog tachometer, and the multi-information display, and the additional center display there in the middle. This is what they didn't take note in the XV. There's no sunglasses holder. And then almost same layout with the XV, but this time your panoramic sunroof is one button instead. And then you have your forward collision alert, and then you have more safety reminders. And then visors, there's a vanity mirror with light here. I see the impending dude. They don't extend, but as you can see, there is an extension here. Okay, does the job. I don't mind that. At least this is also probably one of the thickest sun visors and the most premium one in its class, despite being fabric only. And then what else? Also the leather seats here, they feel a bit similar to the XV. And the bolstering's good, but it's a little bit less than the of the XV. I noticed the XV is just a little bit more of the sporty oriented side. This one's more of soccer mom. Yeah, just being honest, it's more of a soccer mom style of driving. I mean, it feels great. The leather seats of this are very, very comfortable to sit in. And there's excellent lumbar support. I need that. And as well, visibility immediately I can tell is excellent. Probably as well one of the best things. Because as you can see, there's a large third window there on just past the C pillar. And the D pillar is not that much in the way. And you have the use of 360-degree cameras NA. So probably one of the best visibilities in its class as well. And as well, the largest windows. I mean, look how much light there's going in. And one nitpick though, this is a manual shot for the panoramic sunroof. But at least you have a panoramic sunroof itself. So that's about it here in front of the all-new Subaru Forester. I'll show you the rear seats. So here are the rear seats of the Subaru Forester. Sounds the same as front. I can't say much with the RAV4 since I never sat in the back of that, but the space here in the back, as you can see, feet room, knee room, and my headroom, despite having the panoramic sunroof, you have a lot of space. Probably more or less a bit better than the CX-5 itself. So I'm very impressed here in the back. And unlike the Subaru XV, thank goodness there's a central armrest here. It's surrounded with a silver trim and gloss black material. My water jug fits here despite the flimsy grips over here. And as well, if I sit here in the middle, transmission panel is not too wide. You can simply put your feet up. And if I sit here in the middle, exactly the same in either the left or right side of the seat. And then surprisingly, you have two small map pockets behind each of the seats. Finally, there's something here in the middle. There are no buttons here, but you have two air conditioning vents and then two USB ports. And then the leather seats, same at front, feels comfortable. I'll be very happy to sit here on a long trip. And then door cards exactly the same as front, the two-tone finish over here. And then you have a small cubby space and bottle holder now on each side. My water jug still fits, surprisingly. And then here you have an LED light. So that's about it here in the interior. I'll show you the engine. Oh what? This whole piece goes out. Look at that. And as you can see, surprisingly, The engine sits really low in the car, so very similar to the Subaru XV, which is surprising. So this is the engine of the all-new Subaru Forester. It's exactly the same like in the Subaru XV. This one's powered by a 2-liter naturally aspirated Boxer 4/Flat 4 engine that produces 156 horsepower and 196 Newton meters of torque, and is mated to a CVT transmission. And confirmed, this has a 7-speed simulated gearing. From the XV, if you've seen that review already, it's probably one of the best CVTs I've tried as well. Also, a few more facts. Acceleration of this 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 10.3 seconds. It's brisk enough, and top speed is 193 kilometers an hour. I'm really surprised it sits really low in the frame of the car. So that's enough of me talking. So with that, let's go for a drive. This is it. I'm gonna drive the Subaru Forester. I love the cameras here. Yeah, they're not the best resolution, but it's good enough. But I do love the 360-degree camera. I mean, that's so crisp. It's pixelated, but it's fine. And then driving dynamics, okay, seems similar to the XV already, but you sit up way higher since this is an actual crossover SUV. And then like the XV, the steering wheel, there's nice weight on it, but this one's a tad heavier than the XV, surprisingly. Just leave it in intelligent mode for now. There's same driving modes as the XV. Also, you have paddle shifters, which I will try just in a bit. In intelligent mode, seems okay, responsive like the XV. Yeah, I do love the steering feel of this. Just, as I said, a tad heavier, but there's excellent feedback. And just intelligent mode, I'm gonna floor it. Oh, yep, very responsive to CVT. Yep, I can confirm now, among the best out there. Just here at the side state, it's very punchy. Yeah, despite only having the same power as the XV, and this is what, 94 kilograms heavier than the XV itself, you do feel the weight ever so slightly only. And then body lean, yeah, it is more noticeable than the XV for obvious reasons. But here, just around in the city, side streets, driving this is very easy. And also the visibility, as I mentioned, is actually probably among one of the best as well out there. And then brakes, they're like the XV. For some reason, it's a high bite. There's just what little travel on it only. Then over humps and bumps. Okay, I gotta say, I commend even the XV, despite a very high ground clearance on both cars. Exactly the same, by the way. They're very comfortable, and the NVH of this is very good. I don't hear the engine that much, even though when I floor it. Let's try sport mode now. Okay, over rough patches. Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, at the straight line, I do notice the difference. Handling wise, it's similar to the XV, but at the straight line, I do notice the weight now. I mean, in a straight line, the XV is just a little bit more punchier than this one. And then bodying here and a roundabout. Yeah, there is, but it's not as much. Of course, it won't be as sharp as the CX-5, but this one's, I gotta say, on par with the Toyota RAV4. And acceleration in a straight line, it's not as bad as you think. I mean, it's still punchy enough. And then like the XV, the CVT transmission is excellent. It's very responsive when you change up and down. But I gotta say, the NVH is way better than the Subaru XV. With the competition, NVH is exactly the same. It's very quiet in here. Although one drawback, like the XV, yeah, this is kind of thirsty. Also, being a heavier car, as I said earlier, it's 94 kilograms Heavier, I've been averaging only what, 19 liters per 100 kilometers. But if you're light-footed, unlike me, you can get better numbers than I am. Also, the price of this is quite steep, 2.1 million pesos. Just put the exact price on the screen. But you get a lot for your money. I mean, there's a lot of safety features with this, unlike some of its competition, I have to say. And what else I have to say? Finally got to drive a Forester. Very happy. So I'd like to thank Subaru Pasig and Sir Glenn Hadap for making this review possible again. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you with the Subaru Avoltis review and another Subaru, hopefully, that I'll review soon. Bye bye.